Everyone thought he was invisible, just a tired janitor with a mop and a fading past. But in one breathtaking moment, inside a glass-walled conference room filled with panic and million-dollar pressure, he picked up a marker and rewrote the fate of an entire empire. What happened next stunned the CEO, silenced the doubters, and revealed a truth no one saw coming. Ethan Cole arrived late again. His gray janitor uniform clung to him, still carrying the faint chemical scent of bleach. His mop frayed, uneven, tired, dragged softly behind him. He walked through the revolving glass doors of Fortune Tech like a ghost among giants, unnoticed, unimportant. Or so everyone believed. But beneath the weary eyes and the calloused hands was a man built from brilliance. Heartbreak and the purest kind of love, the kind that forces a person to abandon everything to save what matters most. A decade earlier, Ethan had been steps away from changing the world. He was a rising star in artificial intelligence, a name whispered in conferences, a mind admired by innovators twice his age. His algorithms were revolutionary, clean, elegant, decades ahead of their time. But dreams are fragile things. When his wife Lily was diagnosed with cancer, the world he'd been building collapsed overnight. Their newborn son, Noah, had been born with a rare genetic condition that required constant care. With Lily in and out of hospitals and Noah so vulnerable, Ethan made the only decision a man of heart could make. He walked away. He sold his code, sold their car, sold every piece of equipment he once thought he couldn't live without. And then he disappeared from the tech world entirely. By the time Lily passed, leaving Ethan a single father with a fragile baby and a grief that lived in his bones, he had nothing left except his knowledge, his love, an unbreakable promise. Noah will have a chance. So Ethan took the janitor job. Not because it paid well, it didn't. But Fortune Tech offered stability, insurance, the medication. Noah needed to stay alive. Ethan scrubbed floors while others made decisions worth millions. He worked night shifts, cleaned rooms no one else dared touch, ate alone in the cafeteria where no one noticed that his quiet eyes still carried the spark of a genius. And after every exhausting day, after tucking Noah into bed and whispering stories into the dark, Ethan reopened his old notebooks. He scribbled algorithms across the backs of grocery receipts, napkins, and junk mail just to keep his mind alive. He never spoke of who he once was. He didn't want pity. All he wanted was time to raise his son. It's time to keep his promise. But everything changed on a Thursday morning. Panic rippled through Fortune Tech like a shockwave. Engineers sprinted through hallways. Department heads barked orders. Project lead was pale and trembling. The company's new AI prototype, the centerpiece of a $100 million merger, had crashed 5 times. Total system failure. And in 48 hours, the world expected a flawless launch. Consultants had been flown in. The board was furious. The CEO, Madison Hale, famed for her icy composure, stood in the war room staring at the collapsing screens with hollow eyes. Nothing made sense. Years of work were unraveling in real time. That night, while chaos continued, Ethan quietly pushed his mop down the corridor. He heard the whispers, "We're running out of time. This can't be happening. Everything's falling apart." Then he saw it. Through the glass walls of the conference room, a whiteboard glowed with equations. Complex algorithms, stress-induced scribbles, panic-born ideas. But at the very bottom, one line froze him in place. It was a recursive loop. Algorithm is algorithm, but wrong. Not dangerously. Wrong, fatally wrong. One misplaced character, one overlooked detail, and the entire system would collapse under its own logic every single time. He stared, blinked, stared again. His heart pounded violently against his ribs. He shouldn't say anything. He was the janitor. They would laugh. Or worse, throw him out. Then a memory struck him. The night he held Noah's hand in the hospital, whispering to a child too young to understand, "I'll never stop trying. I'll show you what strength looks like." Those words steadied him. Ethan inhaled, wiped his trembling hands on his gloves, and walked into the conference room. Engineers turned. Confusion flickered. Some snickered. The CEO raised one sharp eyebrow. "I think I know what's wrong," he said quietly. Silence swallowed the room. A few chuckles broke it, dismissive. But Madison didn't laugh. She studied him, really studied him, and saw something behind those tired eyes, something sharp, something brilliant. She handed him a marker. "Show me." Ethan stepped forward. Every breath felt like he was lifting the weight of his past. He rewrote the broken line, corrected the loop, adjusted the logic. It took him exactly 32 seconds. Then he capped the marker, nodded politely, and left the room without waiting for a reaction. Just a janitor returning to his duties. 10 minutes later, the system rebooted. Fully operational, smooth, flawless. The room erupted. Madison sprinted into the hall and found Ethan cleaning a vending machine smudge. "Who are you?" she breathed. He looked down, humility wrapped in exhaustion. Just a dad trying to make a living. The next morning, the call came not from HR, but the board itself. They offered him the role of Chief AI Architect, full benefits, remote flexibility to stay with Noah, a personal apology letter signed by the CEO, the security footage of him fixing the code, spread through the company like wildfire. The man everyone ignored became the hero no one expected. Employees stood when he walked by. And Noah Sweet, Fredel Noah told his classmates with glowing pride, "My dad is a superhero. He just doesn't have a cape." Ethan didn't accept the job for glory. He accepted it for Noah, to show him that worth isn't handed to you, it's built. Even in silence, even in the dark, and that sometimes the world forgets what you are, till the moment you're reminded.